looked in a mirror and not recognized whom you saw? That happened to me 4 years ago. After 13 years of suppressing, stuffing, and packing away more and more pieces and parts of myself in order to keep the peace with my now ex-husband, basically sacrificing myself on the altar of our marriage, I gazed into the mirror and realized I had no idea who that woman in the reflection was. I had lost touch with who I really was and what was authentically me. And so I began my journey of self-discovery, unpacking those hidden parts of me like a child with exploring a long-forgotten toy chest. My intention today is to share how I discovered the joy of vulnerability and the bliss of authenticity. To inspire you to unveil your true self, to stand boldly in your own authentic truth, so that the people and opportunities that are meant to be in your life can not only find you, but recognize you. First, let me talk a little bit about vulnerability. In her TED Talk, which you can find online, Brené Brown said that connection is why we are here. Connection with one another. And she added, in order for connection to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be seen. Be seen. And that is where vulnerability comes in. Alas, so many people misunderstand what vulnerability is all about. They believe it is weakness when in actuality is the ultimate in courageousness. Vulnerability is being open to things not turning out as you want them to. It is a willingness to do things without guarantees, to invest in relationships that might not work out, to be who you truly are even though you might be rejected. Being vulnerable can be scary, but it is so worthwhile because it is the key to joy, to creativity, to belonging, to love. When you are willing to let go of who you think you should be in favor of who you really are, you will be well on your way to achieving connection with others. For example, in my journey, when I had that moment with the mirror and realized I was about as far away from vulnerable as I possibly could be, in fact, I wasn't even being vulnerable with myself, I got mad at myself. I spent a great deal of time railing at the past me who had made those decisions to acquiesce to my husband's bullying rather than stand up for myself. And then I participated in a program about release. And I started to let go of the anger. And what I discovered underneath the anger was sadness, a belief that I was somehow unworthy, and a whole heap of shame. And what got me to the other side was compassion for those past needs and what they had to do in order for me to survive, in order to secure a space for future me, the me that stands before you today. It was through that journey that I realized that it was okay to have flaws, that even the super successful have flaws. And maybe, just maybe, some of those flaws were what made me lovable, valid, and worthy of being seen. Actress Ariana Grande once said, "Be happy being you, love your flaws, own your quirks, and know that you are just as perfect as anyone else, exactly as you are." I firmly believe that we are all born perfect, whole, and complete. However, as we grow up, we have experiences that we interpret as evidence that we are not. And so we cover ourselves with veils of doubt, of shame, of fear, of countless other negative beliefs. Back to Brené Brown. In her research, she discovered that one of the characteristics of people who are happier and experience more connection with others is the belief that what made them vulnerable is what made them beautiful. Therefore, I invite you to take steps toward being more vulnerable with the people you care about. Take those veils off. Take chances. Let them see you. And when you start to get more comfortable with the vulnerability in areas where you're safe with the people who love you, try being vulnerable with strangers. You never know who might turn out to be a member of your tribe. And discovering those people, well, that's the joy of vulnerability. The joy of vulnerability leads to the bliss of authenticity. Being authentic, says Brené Brown, means saying no when you really don't want to do something. But it also means saying yes and trying new things that appeal to you, even when your never-ending to-do list is calling or you're worried about failure. She asserts that the real you is stronger and more capable than you even know. A year ago, I discovered, unveiled, my new brand, Own Your Awesome. Little did I know that this wasn't just a nifty way to market my coaching business, but it was a call to truly step into my authentic self. Now, I've discovered that for me, being authentic is a tad easier than being not authentic. In fact, this was why my marriage was so full of strife. No matter how much I tried, all those bits and pieces that I had been suppressing and stuffing and packing away just kept leaking out. I kept being me and I kept being punished for it. And anyone who knows me well knows that the filter between my brain and my mouth is not perfect. Ask me a question and 9 times out of 10 you'll get the unfiltered truth before I have even a chance to think better of it. That said, when I lost touch with whom I was, my ability to be truly authentic became inconsistent. I had lost my integrity. I said yes when I should really have said no, and that led to overwhelm. And I said no when I really should have said yes, which led to regrets. I knew I had to get better at this. So now I tend to be more thoughtful with how I interact with the world. I often stop and ask myself, is this real? Is this true to who I am? Do I really want this? And although this has reduced some of the overwhelm and regrets, I know that I'm not all the way there. But that's okay. I'm going to love me anyway. Steve Jobs put how to live an authentic life so well. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. So they somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. You see, if you allow yourself to be authentically you, you become a beacon of light in the world. You become magnetic to the people, places, and circumstances that support your life's mission and your highest, best self. And even better, when you look in the mirror, you know exactly who you're looking at.